Vietnam's real estate law has been updated, and it's great for overseas Vietnamese and VQ. Let's get into it. Hello everybody, my name is Austin Wires, and welcome back to CVR's web series. For those of you who don't know, CVR, Central Vietnam Realty, is a real estate brokerages and services firm based in Da Nang, Vietnam. I'm here today to share a little bit with you guys about the new real estate laws that have just been passed in the beginning of this year. Just to try to keep everyone up to date about what's happening and how the Vietnam legal landscape is changing. The laws, in my opinion, have a very good direction. A lot of protections for foreign investors, or really all investors. Also a lot of clearing up legal uncertainties of years of old, and also making the market more transparent and even accessible for mainly international buyers, and especially overseas Vietnamese or VQ buyers. There's a lot to unravel in this, but let's get started. The new law has a lot of material to cover. It's quite dense, but there are a few main points that I'd like to point out to you guys so you can understand exactly what is changing and what to expect in the future, and what is the direction of Vietnam when it comes to these legal updates and the future of the Vietnamese property market. The first change is a movement towards transparency and professionalism, and that is that from January 1st, 2025, all real estate brokers and all real estate entities or brokerage companies will need to have a brokerage license. Similar to America or a lot of countries in, let's say, Europe or Australia, you are required to have a brokerage license in order to practice, where until now in Vietnam, anybody and their brother was able to practice as a real estate broker with no formal education or training. Secondly, in another move which really protects buyers, in my opinion, the government has instituted an amendment to the law where developers are only able to charge maximum 5% of the unit value or of the contract value as a deposit when the developer is selling an off-plan project. So if the developer has a building that, it's all sand today, or they've just started a little bit of construction, they're only now legally able to charge 5%. This helps protect buyers. They don't have to pay too much up front, and also the developer prevents them from raising funds too early and taking the money from investors without showing us a decent amount of work done thus far. In general, advantageous for buyers and advantageous for investors in Vietnam. On the flip side of that, so the law, they're only allowing 5% paid in deposit. They're also now allowing the last 5% to be withheld until the pink books are issued, until the ownership land use rights certificates are issued. This means that there's been a lot of delays in Vietnam over the last 2 years in these ownership, land use rights, and pink book issuances. This means that investors get to keep the last 5% of their property value, of their purchase contract value, until they receive their land use right certificate or pink book. Additionally, the new real estate law also tightens or makes stricter conditions for developers to sell off-plan projects. So when they're trying to sell projects that is just sand or only a little is built, they have to prove that they've secured more mortgages or loans to finish the property, as well as they have a higher percentage of the total build cost and property cost, project cost up front, somewhere around 15 to 20%, as well as having loans and mortgages. Also, a lot of investors are always asking, Austin, is there a record, a public record of transaction values in Vietnam so we can track the market price? Unfortunately, Vietnam does not have this today. There is no multiple listing system. There is no service we can call and find out what our neighbor's house sold for. But the Vietnam government does do valuations of each land area, and they have a perceived value of land in each area. This used to be updated every few years. With the new land law, it will be updated periodically, time by time. So this is a much more dynamic way of valuing and pricing, which should help investors, especially people looking into land and condos, determine what are some of the last transactions and how does the government view the price or the value of each property per square meter in each area or in each project. Lastly, and most importantly, and probably most excitingly, is a change to the law which affects some 7 million VQ or overseas Vietnamese or people of Vietnamese origin that are residing abroad or potentially even residing in Vietnam now. The law is targeting people of Vietnamese origin who do not have Vietnamese passports. And the new law essentially allows them to purchase property exactly the same as those who do hold Vietnamese passports. So if you are a Vietnamese descendant or your parents or your grandparents are Vietnamese. Previously, you could not purchase freehold land, you could not purchase freehold condos, you could not purchase land and homes. You were treated as a foreigner, and with all the restrictions that come with foreign purchasing, as we've discussed in some other videos on this channel. So this law kind of just gets rid of all of that mess that was there before, all of that confusion, and hopefully when it comes into practice in 2025, it makes it very clear, very straightforward, and very easy for people of Vietnamese origin to invest in Vietnam, to inherit properties from their parents or grandparents, buy, sell, trade, everything exactly the same as a Vietnamese passport holder would. It's important to say that this is the way the law is written today. Sometimes the law and practice does not match exactly how the law is written in Vietnam, and we will keep you guys updated as we talk to local lawyers, local notary offices, government officials, as these dates get closer, 2025 date gets closer, on how this will be implemented. We wanted to bring it to you soon, so for those of you who are thinking about investing in the future or planning a trip to Vietnam, you're able to have these in the back of your mind as you enjoy your holiday or you come look at homes or properties in Vietnam, to give you the best idea and keep you up to date with how the Vietnamese legal and real estate landscape is changing. If you guys have any questions, or if there's anything else you want to see on this page, please do let us know. I love taking suggestions. We're going to keep covering topics that we get a lot of questions about, including this video about legal updates and mainly Vietnamese overseas and how are they treated in Vietnam. For those of you who have any questions, feel free to reach out directly. And thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.